Anki Drive. Part racetrack, part battlefield, all-out speed. Pick a car, power up your weapons, and clash with friends and cars as they try to outsmart you. It's time to race into battle. Visit go.anki.com/RT for full details. Go.anki.com/RT for full details. This episode of The Patch is sponsored by NatureBox. Order great tasting, healthy snacks right to your door. Forget the vending machine and get in shape for summer with healthy, delicious treats like everything bagel sticks. Support this podcast and get 50% off your first order. Go to naturebox.com/thepatch. Welcome to The Patch.
It's The Patch.
This week, Gus.
Bernie.
Ryan.
Gus.
Hi, everybody. And
Welcome
half
back.
of the control room. There's the control room.
We're here to talk about video games
Yellow.
and stuff.
And primary colors.
Come on, guys. Be professional.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Time.
We're here to talk about video games, video game news. Our final broadcast here from our beautiful studios in South
We're
Austin.
going to say that all week long.
Yeah, but this is
for every
this is
single
it.
thing.
This is the final live broadcast.
Are we going to be in the
The
new
super final.
the place next week?
Fingers crossed.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
If not,
We're not
then
gonna
what
be in here.
happens? Yeah.
By the way, did you guys know that every date this week is a palindrome?
Yeah, I saw that.
1,000 times? Did you see it? Yeah.
I may have seen it once or twice.
Yeah.
Or
Which is
1 times.
which is interesting also considering that we had a blood moon lunar eclipse, which that would have been like in ancient days. All the dates are palindromes and there's a blood moon.
It's a bad
Watch
day for
out.
virgins.
Yeah.
And I heard we're having another one this year. That's pretty rare, too, right? There's going to be a second blood moon or a second
think
lunar eclipse in October.
There's 4 in 18 months.
Wow.
What's
So-
a blue moon? A blue moon is
It's a delicious beer.
no, it's a
Oh, yes, it is.
full moon twice in a month. Is that what it is?
You got me.
That's so when they say once in a blue moon, it's actually something that is statistically improbable. Let me see. What is a blue moon?
So there are hierarchies of this particular statement. Is it like once in a Halley's Comet?
Yeah.
Because it's
I want a yellow moon.
fine
Yeah.
to go outside.
Blue moon is an extra full moon that appears in a subdivision
full.
of a year. A subdivision of a year. What is that?
Extra full moon.
Yeah.
It's like, I like my moon
It's
extra
fractions.
curvy.
Fractions. Figure it out.
Either the third or 4 full moons in a season, or recently a second full moon in a month
Oh, there
of
you
the
go.
common calendar. So it's just like an extra full moon.
Or it just depends on how much toxins are in the atmosphere that particular day. Then you might have the blue moon.
It's
the
like
yellow
refracting
moon,
the moon
orange
extra big.
moon.
Fucking Mr. Glass is half empty over here. How many toxins are in the
That's
atmosphere?
still mostly full.
All right, we can't talk about moons. There's a lot of video game stuff to talk about.
Gotta talk about
Yeah.
video games.
Luckily, we had only one person who was at PAX East on the PAX
That's right.
this week.
That was this past weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, it was. We PAX East in Boston was this week. It was the 14th overall PAX.
Wow, okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cool stuff. Do you want to just jump in? Start
Let's
talking
do
about
it.
it?
Hit
All
it.
right. Well, why don't you guys talk about what you heard about and then from PAX?
I think the things I heard about were Evolve, the Borderlands, the pre-sequel, PAX South, and the Equality Lounge. I forget what it's called.
Oh, the diversity,
Diversity Lounge, there you go.
They're making a big effort at PAX to make it a more inclusive event. Not that it wasn't before, but that they want everyone to feel that it's as inclusive as it's always been. It's been a major issue for PAX over the last couple of years. In fact, our panel that we did, it normally goes the keynote speaker, Jerry and Mike, Gabe and Tycho, doing their Q&A session, and then us right after that. There was no Gabe and Tycho Q&A this year.
No, like Penny Arcade keynote.
No.
They did the drawing a Penny Arcade strip panel.
And they had all their questions pre-selected for that.
Really?
Yeah. And at that they announced PAX South, which will be late in January in San Antonio now.
So they didn't answer any questions off the cuff?
Apparently not. No, apparently not. That was their mega strip panel where they did that. So
They're pulling back from PAX, right? Like they've started to kind of distance themselves to some degree from the event.
I can actually tell you that I saw no imagery in the convention hall that was Penny Arcade imagery. It was all PAX
kinda
logos and
wild.
everything. Normally it's like the Gabe and Tycho comic characters, like doing something or
Holding dice or some shit?
Exactly right. There was none of that, although there was on the program, they had like an 80s retro PAX East 2014 program.
Okay.
That's weird. I mean, it's still in the title, so you'd think it's odd to distance it. But, I mean, they're kind of pulling back from a lot of projects that they've got or have had, right?
If you walked up to the convention goers at PAX, just an average person on the floor, and you said, hey, what does the PA and PAX stand for? Do you think half of them would know? Is it?
I don't know.
Where?
Well, we had that experience where when we went to PAX Australia,
Right.
it was super crowded. We had really long lines at the Rooster Teeth booth. One time, Jack and I went to go get a slice of pizza, and people were following us, and we were talking to a crowd. And we did the thing you talk about, where it's like we're gonna keep talking and walking and signing stuff. And we made it all the way to the pizza trailer. There's a huge crowd around us, and I turn over, and Jerry from Penny Arcade is standing right there with like one person talking to him. It's like he can walk around, and people don't know what he looks like necessarily.
Yeah, well,
or know that it's him.
We always felt like that with once we started layering in more live action shows. It changed, but in the early days with like Red vs. Blue, when we were basically an animation house, people didn't know all of our faces. You were actually the face of Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, because of the Apple Switch parody.
Yep, more people knew Gus than anybody else in the company. Like we'd walk into Best Buy and Gus was huge. Gus was huge at Best Buy.
Nobody knew who Burnie was. He'd be like, "Hey, I write it," and be like, "Yeah, shut up, you."
Yeah, they were. That's exactly how that would go. Gus would go, "This is Burnie. He writes and directs the show," and they go, "Yeah, okay. Hey, Gus."
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, you should really get in front of the camera sometime.
Yeah, apparently.
Totally great for your ego.
It's why we introduced live streaming for this stuff. But I think you missed what I think was the biggest announcement of PAX East, which is on the floor they had the big exhibitors on the floor were WildStar, League of Legends, which is always huge, and it's just people like watching other people play League of Legends, and then the 2K booth, which contained both Borderlands pre-sequel and Evolve, which I'll talk about in a second. But I think the biggest announcement that came out of PAX was the fact that the Firaxis panel, they announced a new Civilization game.
Beyond Earth?
Beyond Earth.
Oh, right, yeah.
So they're taking Civ, like, outside of Earth. But they're very clear to say it's not Alpha Centauri.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say they've tried to approach this before. My favorite thing about that is they released a teaser trailer about Beyond Earth. I saw someone immediately cut it to the final countdown.
That's awesome.
And then like it just matched it up like from the beginning, and it makes sense.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does kind of make sense. I think whoever edited that video may have been listening to the final countdown on an alternate audio track that just got muted for export.
Oh, they were just like, oh, hey. Oh, that's what it was? I like it.
That's what, if I had to guess, that's what I say would happen.
But I think that the way they did that announcement is perfect for a video game company, because now we have all this like, it gets announced at E3, and then they have a pre-trailer the following year at E3, then they have a gameplay the third year at E3, and then the game comes out. Firaxis came out, they had a panel at PAX East. They said, we're coming out. They didn't even tell you what it was they were going to talk about there. And E from Xbox, he's a big Firaxis fan like I am, and you are. I know you're a huge Civ fan.
Oh, yeah.
You?
Yeah, I love the series.
My kid recently just started playing Civilization, so this is great timing. He's been playing Civ 5, and he's gotten super into it. Like, I showed him, like, here's the tech tree. You had this, then you get this. And he was like, let me play this. I was like, okay.
Like, get out of the way, you.
And then he's so new to it. He started his thing. And I said, how's your Civilization going? He's doing great. I found my first neighbor. I go, who'd you find? He goes, Gandhi. So it's great. And I was like, I don't have the heart to tell you.
It's like someone who's read the Game of Thrones books. I'm not going to spoil this for you, but just wait.
Listen, man, there's something in games you got to learn on your own.
If Gandhi invites you to a wedding, don't go.
Yeah, we'd like you to come to a wedding for 20 turns. Don't fall for it, buddy. But the way Firaxis did it was they came out, they announced the game, they showed the trailer, they said the game is coming out this fall. No one has ever heard of it, and it's coming out this fall. That's like 6 months away or less.
Nice.
Then, gone. Well, like, everyone that was there from the know, like Ashley was there, and she tried to go get a comment from Firaxis about it. They weren't even there anymore.
Completely
it was like
left.
Mic drop, and they were gone.
The mic dropped, and like a smoke bomb came out from it, and then they were just off the stage.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. And it's like nobody knew this game was in development. I don't think anyone's amazed that there's another Civilization game coming out, but this one is definitely a very cool addition to the Civilization series. It's not Civ 6. So I'm excited.
On a somewhat related note, last year at PAX East, Blizzard announced Hearthstone. I don't think anyone really knew that was coming. They announced it, and then that's already out full retail. Like that came out in beta, and then I think the iPad version just came out yesterday.
Oh, I got some Hearthstone stuff for you. I got some decks for you.
You just telling me now?
Man.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they're at home actually too.
I'm like crazed. I'm frenzied.
He actually started to foam at the mouth a little bit there. I know anybody listening at home couldn't see it, but the look in his eye, it just about yanked Burnie out of his chair.
I might actually have it in my laptop bag here. I got a stack of them, so I can give them to you. Well, I mean, then you can give them
Now
away.
it's Christmas, though. You got to wait till the end of the patch before you can open it.
They did give them to me to like give away to people, so maybe I should do that.
I'm people. Just throwing that out there.
I'm an important person. Yeah, but that was great. The Civilization thing, and then the thing that I enjoyed the most. Oh, there was also, which I think kind of fell under the radar, and I didn't see reported a lot of places in PAX, is that Undead Labs was showing the upcoming DLC for State of Decay, and it looked great. And I didn't even know there was upcoming DLC for State of Decay.
I didn't either.
Is there a release window for that?
I don't know. We can look it up and see. Michael Jones and I walked over and talked to them because I know Michael was a big fan of State of Decay as well. He did a couple of his rage quits in it. Was it rage quit or
No, full play? Yeah.
Full play. And
Gavin.
Yeah, drunk Gavin.
Drunk Gavin, yeah.
And so we looked at it. It's the DLC is going to take like the same story, but from the military's point of view, is the way it was explained to me.
Okay.
So, and those guys were all really just cool dudes. They're based out of Seattle. They got that big deal with Microsoft after State of Decay did so well. So they're just quietly cranking away new games.
I mean, I wonder if that's going to still live on that corner of the map that is so underused in the original game.
There was a lot of the map that was underused.
Yeah.
It was like essentially 2 locations you really used a lot.
I felt like kind of
the farmhouse,
the bottom,
and then way down south.
the
kind
church.
of part of the map was mostly useful. And then you got up there and there was just nothing anywhere. It was a desert of resources up in the base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely felt
there was like a rocket launcher you could get there. There were like 4 rocket launchers or something in that base. That's all it was worth for. Mm-hmm. It's like you go there and you collect them and then you leave.
How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about a popular game that then you play the game again from a different perspective? Like Half-Life 2 did that more.
Well,
or Half-Life.
Dead Rising's kind of doing that right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
to some degree.
That's what immediately called to mind was Dead Rising. Is that there was 4 episodes of DLC and they were all lost stories of Los Perdidos, and they were all just different takes, kind of, on the game. But it got.
I think if done well, it could be good. Like I would imagine, I'd like to see something like that with like the Walking Dead Telltale games, where you have survivors come in, touch your story and leave, and it's like what happens. It's kind of like what they did with 400 Days, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It's hard to. I can't imagine them doing that without Clementine, though, which they might do at some point if something goes wrong there, as it often does in the Walking Dead series. But it's hard to imagine them like staying away if that character's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an iffy. I mean, there's situations where that kind of thing's been done and has been done really well. Like actually, something that I haven't really been talking about much, but I finished Barrel at Sea episode 2.
Oh.
Which has a lot of tie-ins to the BioShock universe and to the original BioShock game, and how Rapture came to be what Rapture was when you enter that world. So I kind of liked what they did in that one, but there have been other titles where that kind of thing just doesn't interest me. Sometimes it depends. If they're just touching on things that once happened and giving you these cool little insights into the backstory of the other story, it can be good. But if they're just rehashing the whole story from, like when they did the Dead Rising 2 and you got the whole thing again from
Frank West's
perspective.
Yeah. Did you play like Half-Life? They have Blue Shift,
Opposing Force.
Was that it? Did you play as the scientist or
think
anything?
that's it.
Yeah. That's kind of what started it, right? Was those? Where you play as a different character?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I guess Blue Shift was probably like the first time I remember really.
He plays Barney?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I felt like they built in all those characters in Half-Life 2. They just kind of took what they had in Half-Life and they said, okay, we'll make this guy a character, and the white bald scientist is a character, another black scientist is a character, the security guard's a character too. But I guess I never played as Barney in Blue Shift. Is that who you play as?
I think you do, yeah.
Yeah. And they kind of I feel like they added that after the fact. But they did a great job with it from the source material of Half-Life 1.
Yeah.
But even they kind of backed off of that. They kind of backed off of that, though, because there wasn't nearly as much of that in Half-Life 2, unless I'm forgetting something.
Well, all of those characters became like more major characters, and I think they were going to start trying to maybe solve that with episodic content, and I think they just kind of
which they didn't.
lost their focus and something else got their attention, like something shiny dangled and
had a shorter window of time, do you think? The music game genre or the episodic gaming genre?
Episodic
was
music
like
games stuck around for a few years.
You say that, but you're playing Wolf Amongst Us and Walking Dead are both episodic content.
And to be fair, there's also still music games coming out. That's a rarity. I mean, like everything was going to be episodic.
I don't know.
Like,
I think music is pretty dead.
Music's pretty dead.
They still make Rocksmith.
They still make those
Right.
dance games. Like one of Ubisoft's big titles is they were demoing Just Dance up there.
They were what?
They were doing Just Dance. It's one of the big competitions. Like in the hallways in PAX, they do that. And my favorite thing in PAX got moved to way the hell in the back, which is there's an classic arcade cabinet museum, and they bring stuff. Dude, they had a game I used to play as a kid where it was a Laserdisc game based on the anime Lupin. Man, called Cliffhanger.
Really?
Yeah, called Cliffhanger.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. In fact, I didn't know what
Was
Lupin
it like the Don Bluth style game where it's like Space Ace and stuff like that, Dragon Slayer?
Yeah, and you had a punch and a kick action button, I believe. It's the only Laserdisc game I ever finished in the arcade going all the way through it. And they had it there. Didn't play it. but it was good to see it again. And then why don't we talk a little bit about Evolve as well? Are you going to, by the way, Civilization? You going to get Civilization?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
It's. I mean, they've tried this kind of space thing in the past. I'll give it a shot. I don't know. There's something about the connection to our planet that makes the Civilization series kind of what it is.
It's also the history and knowing all the shit, like being like, oh, Gandhi, you motherfucker, you were good in real life, but you're a son of a bitch in this game.
I feel like when they take it into this future, all the technology trees, you really got to get those right, because it made sense in the historical stuff, and you can see how that builds into new things. In the future tech trees, they can get off course really fast.
Like, how do they keep it Civ and not make it a 4X game?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there's a lot of things that have tried this and just haven't really done great. And it's already a marketplace that's got things like Sins of the Solar Empire, Galactic Civilizations. There are titles out there.
Masters of Orion.
Masters of Orion.
That's old, though. That's another one that kind of fell off.
Is this real?
What's that?
Like an unsubstantiated rumor coming in via Twitter.
Woohoo! My favorite kind.
Mr. Sexy Good Time. Harmonix has a music-based MOBA coming out. It was at their panel at PAX.
Music-based MOBA? Okay.
I feel like
Let me look this up. I'm calling bullshit here.
there is some kind of music-based shooter that's coming out.
Music-based shooter.
Yeah, and I forget the title of it. But I mean, they're still trying to do things with the music kind of genre, but nothing is ever going to be on the same scale as the original Guitar Hero and Rock Band series, because that was such a big ticket thing. If nothing else, just to move the hardware for it.
And now they're having a deal too where a lot of those licenses are expiring, and they're just like not going to renew them, so you just won't be able to download some of that stuff. So the genre is really, it had a window of time. But episodic gaming, even going back to the Penny Arcade stuff, Penny Arcade had a game series that was all episodic. It didn't make it through its full run, at least not with the same developer. It went away for a long time and then came back and they wrapped up the series. There was talk at one point they were just going to finish the series in written form, and not make it interactive.
Yeah, I think they talked Tycho down from the ledge on that. No, let's make a game out of this. Let's sell more than a couple.
Yeah,
I can't imagine making that jump from like video game to book.
Yeah.
Finish
well, I mean,
story.
they do it all the time. Halo has a book series. Diablo,
right, but it's like, imagine if they made Halo and Halo 2, and they're like, okay, Halo 3 and Halo 4, they're going to just be books.
That would be tough.
You would read it.
Yeah, of course, but it's a lot smaller of a market.
You know how much less development time there is on book? How much less beta testing
goes
into that?
You know how much cheaper a book is, too, though? It's less revenue.
Has anything ever done that? Has anything ever made the full transition from one format to another? They said, like, we're not going to... Like, they made Harry Potter books, and then they made the Harry Potter movies, but they were based on the books.
The sequels didn't follow in a different medium.
You're right, exactly. Yeah. Like, they didn't just say all of a sudden, well, this is going so well. Books 7 and 8 just won't be books; they'll just be movies. Like, has anything ever completely made that transition?
Not that I can think of.
Some TV shows have ended up as movies, but that's way down the pipe too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go set this thing up. Y'all keep talking.
All right, he's gonna go have his fun with this thing. Okay, so the other thing that we got a chance to do, Gavin and Michael also got to play Trials Fusion. They did like a live stream on the floor playthrough with Trials Fusion, or playtime. You can't really play through it, but they did that, and then we got a chance to. I got to see Borderlands, the pre-sequel, which takes place between Borderlands and Borderlands 2 and features, I don't think this is a spoiler, you basically see the origin of Handsome Jack is what it looks like. It's Handsome Jack's a character in it. And it's really interesting because it's the first time in the Borderlands series you're going to be able to play as Claptrap.
Right.
And I read that Gearbox said that some people are going to hate playing as Claptrap.
I totally believe it.
Odd statement to make about your own
Well,
game.
they said that some people are going to hate it and some people are going to love it. And they just, are trying to appeal to the people who are going to love it.
If it's required.
It's that dialogue, the Claptrap dialogue. In Borderlands 1, I got driven crazy by that. Look at me, I'm dancing. If I have to hear that one more fucking time, I'm going to strangle someone. Imagine playing a whole single-player campaign as that character,
Well, you think he's just going to be muttering to himself the entire time?
They said he will.
This constant inner monologue.
Yes.
Is just, all right.
They do that. Like, I played as a hunter in Borderlands, and they would always talk to his bird. And it's like they say stuff over and over again.
I wonder if you can just turn that off. You can have an option to disable the onboard commentary.
Borderlands.
I kind of need that in life. Sometimes I just want to turn off the inner monologue.
Yeah, I hear you. Borderlands as a franchise has a really weird distinction for me in that it is the franchise that has, and this is really specific, it has the most annoying title screens. Where if I just load the game up and don't play it, and I go off to do something else, I've got to go back and turn off my console. Because I'm learning not to use voice commands. I got to go back and turn off my console because I can't stand what the title screen sounds like. Well,
you don't want to listen to Cage the Elephants? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, specifically Borderlands 2 has been up in my house like the last year or so. Every now and then I'm like, oh, it's like every now and then you hear that repetitive claptrap stuff.
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing here?
Watch that thing.
Am I set up?
Yeah, you should be good to go. So one of our sponsors this week is Anki Drive. They have this cool system. They don't have an ad read for me. They just wanted us to actually play with the thing. This is something I saw at DICE this past year. We went to Vegas. Go ahead and hit play with your friends.
Got it.
So
Here's my friend.
it's like radio controlled cars. Like you
thanks,
think about
Bernie.
like old slot cars. So your friend's gonna host. Except that instead of having remote controls, you use your iOS device to control them. And if you don't have enough people to play, you can have the cars controlled by AI. So pick your car. You pick the one you said.
My blue one. Mm-hmm. You can call it blue.
All right.
You don't have to say the one I said.
I'm yellow, right?
Yep. And I'm gonna add.
I have no upgrades.
I'm gonna add an AI character as well.
So it also has an upgrade tree for all the cars, which is really cool.
I'm a level 1 Catal.
Me too.
What? You're biting off my style.
No, Ryan, you're
Well,
Korai. You're the
I'm
yellow
sorry.
one.
I'm
So here
Korai.
we're just gonna play. It's like a battle game. So it's not really a racing game. Even there is a racing mode, but we're playing.
I should probably be able to see the
battle.
car, huh?
Nah, it's overrated. Whoa, who did that?
I don't know. Believe me.
I set him up going the wrong way.
Now I'm going the right way. Oh, so I can change lanes. Oh, how's the black one is so freaking fast?
That's the AI control guy. He's kind of hard.
Yeah, we gotta catch him.
I'm the
Oh,
orange
nice
one.
move.
Ryan is the yellow one. Bernie's the blue one, and the dark gray one is AI.
So how do I slow my dude down?
There's a slider on the left. Speed up, slow down. There's also a gun and a special ability.
Oh, wow, that gun's awesome.
So they launched this thing last year.
Take that.
Collision. No!
They launched this thing last year at Worldwide Developers Conference, and it's been on sale for a little while. And like I said, I saw this at DICE, and as soon as I saw it, I was just like enthralled. I cornered them. I was like, you have to let me play this, and they had a little demo unit set up. And it's just really, really fun.
Oh, I overtook the AI dude.
Come
here.
Drafting.
Drafting. Come on, you. Ow. Oh, look at that.
No! Oh, just fuck the AI.
You got him going the wrong way.
Stop shooting
Did
me.
somebody
But
shoot me?
you can see they're also intelligent. Like someone bumped into the AI character. He started going the wrong way, and he realized it, and on his own corrected and turned around and
shoot
started
me,
kicking our
bitch.
ass.
I have a tractor beam. What does that do?
Tractors.
It slows it's like a tractor beam. It slows down a car in front of you and pulls them towards you, so you can close in and shoot them.
Hey, the AI is shooting me.
No!
Oh, nice.
You lost it, Ryan.
Oh, Ryan's out.
No!
Ryan's out. Rain is over.
Well, I just got sidelined.
Wow. I'm better at that than real driving. Oh, that was horse shit.
My car just drove off to another place.
All right.
I've started in a new land.
So my power-ups I have here are pulse carbine, gun, basically, and then I've got a shield as well. Look at this fucking
anyway-
sweet split-screen action we have going.
Anyway, I just wanted to show it off. Like I said, they really didn't have an ad read. They wanted us to show it off. If you visit, I think it's go.anki.com/RT, you can check out some more information on it. This map we're playing on was actually just announced today. This one doesn't ship until May 6th, I think. And you can check it out. It's really cool. I think if you buy the thing, it comes with the map and 2 cars.
Get my guy on the track.
Oh, okay. You flipped him over.
You turtled. No!
All right, that's enough, guys.
All right, we've all destroyed each other.
very specifically said to me, don't sit up, don't stand on this thing.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of sensors in the track that relay information to the car. So the car knows, you can quit the game from there. The car knows where it is on the track and where the other cars are through Bluetooth. That way it knows like when to shoot and when to pass. And every car, if you play them in AI, has its own personality.
Yeah.
Like that gray one we were playing is actually probably the meanest one.
So basically, this is Skynet the car game.
basically.
I did notice, like, you were telling us something earlier where you can get a car for it, and you have to beat the car before you can control it.
Yeah, it's this one. It's the gray one we were actually playing against Korax. This car just came out today.
And how do you beat it? Like, how do I see my score and all that?
Well, you would set up a game against it in AI mode, and you have to beat it on medium or harder.
I see.
I have been trying all day to beat this thing on medium. I cannot beat it.
So this is like the death of the automated car, right? Because if this software got crossed with that, it would be the end of the world as we know it.
That would be awesome.
It would make traffic a lot more fun. But yeah, I think
I
we're
want to be an
actually,
automated car that like gets off the track and goes like that.
we're actually going to be giving away one of these starter kits. If you follow us on Twitter, we're going to have information about a contest for people can enter and potentially win this whole setup.
What Twitter account? Rooster Teeth?
Yeah, follow Rooster Teeth on Twitter. We'll be tweeting out some details about how you can enter and how you can win one of these awesome things.
That's at Rooster Teeth. Rooster like a bird, teeth like a dentist. That's how I say it every time when I talk to somebody on the phone.
One time I was talking to this phone rep and I said, it's Rooster Teeth. Rooster like the bird and teeth like in your mouth. And she said, I don't have any teeth. And I was like, okay, but you're familiar with the concept, right? You had teeth at one point.
Why would you share that casually either? Like, no, just nothing in there. Just all gum.
It was so awkward. So
I
now
eat nothing but banana.
I know what I don't know. I never know what to say anymore.
Now I feel like I'm insensitive to people with no teeth.
I'm sorry,
So
people with no teeth.
one of the other things you want to talk about in addition to all this was Evolve.
Are you
That's
intentionally
the next thing. Okay?
So I want to get everything else out of the way before I talked about it. But by the way, Borderlands 2, I like Borderlands a lot. This one takes place on the moon of Pandora, and there's a lot of like low gravity stuff, and there's a whole new mechanic in the game, which is oxygen, where you have to have oxygen at all points in time. You have another kit that's an oxygen kit that lets you like jump and then vent it, and then you can like do these like attacks where you go straight down. We also saw a new weapon, which is a cold weapon, and it's Australia 2K or 2K Australia that's helping develop the pre-sequel, and they were able to add a cold weapon like right away. Apparently that was a big deal all along, and that they couldn't add cold weapons. And
the people who have never known cold were able to add a cold weapon immediately.
the people who are underneath the hole.
They were able to
ozone
think
layer.
outside the box when it came to cold.
They've studied it.
But I really like the idea of the mechanic they have with oxygen, where it's you need it to breathe, but it's also a resource like for jetpacks. Like you can use it to.
Yes.
It's like where you have to weigh that utility. It's like it can get me somewhere faster, or I can float, but I might run out of oxygen and die.
And I didn't go hands-on with it. I personally
big
think
but.
that the oxygen thing is like one more meter I don't want to watch, but we'll see. I get a lot of faith. The Borderlands series is a lot of fun, has a lot of personality, so we'll see. And the one class that I saw, she had a defensive shield, and as stuff hit it would charge up, and then you could throw it. And then when you power it up in the skill tree, one of the things was it would deflect off 4 different people. That thing became really powerful pretty quickly. Of course, they had a dev build where they could just like load out their skill tree if they wanted to. But then we got to play Evolve, which was my favorite thing at the show. I really liked Evolve. It's from Turtle Rock. It's the same people that made Left 4 Dead, which I actually, up until the convention, I thought Left 4 Dead was wholly owned by Valve. Like I thought Turtle Rock was inside of Valve, but it's not apparently. And so 2K is distributing it, and Evolve is. I got this little handy dandy little band here that says support on it. It's 4 hunters versus 1 monster. And I guess the best way I could equate it to another experience in a game is like, imagine if they took the experience of a tank battle in Left 4 Dead and then turned that into a whole game and built it out a little bit more. But the classes of the 4 hunters in Evolve are Assault, Medic, Trapper, and Support. And they all are very, very distinct. As far as I could tell, you had to play as one of the 4. I don't think you could like double up on anything.
That's what Michael was telling me, is that you had to keep all 4 classes.
It's like in Left 4 Dead 2, where each character is their own unique character. You could never play with 2 coaches, well, unless you modded, but everyone just had to be one of the different characters.
Oh, I got a mod for Left 4 Dead 2 where I got to play as all the red versus blue characters.
Yeah, we
Somebody
saw
put
that
them in
one.
there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was super easy to use too. But in Evolve, and then your 4 of you are playing against another playable character, which is the monster. Monster starts out at level 1. I think it has 3 total levels of evolution. And the way you evolve is there's like wildlife in there as well, kind of like NPC monsters that you fight. And the big monster, the main monster, can go through and eat, and then that gives it armor. And then it also fills up a meter that then levels it up, and it can like spend points and build up its powers as well, to the point where Michael, who was playing as the monster at the end, had like this leap attack that was just ridiculous. He could breathe fire, all this stuff. But the classes are pretty much what you'd expect. I mean, there's some unique approach to them. The support class, which I played, and the trapper class, which is what Lindsay played, those were pretty unique to this game. I don't think I've seen anything quite like them. The support character actually had a device he'd pull out, and I could shield somebody else on the team. Like, if I just pointed one person at a time, I could shield them. And they were basically indestructible while I did that. But I had to keep up with them. So I'm basically like holding still or strafing and keeping up.
And I'm sure it probably made a very bright, clear line to you, showing where the shield was originated
It looked
from.
like the Ghostbuster gun. Like, it had a big thing, and then it made a big cone around the guy, or a big sphere around him, but that was kind of nebulous and moved a little bit.
So it's like a target for the monster.
And it really
Watch
is.
the trail away from the shielded guy and kill that person.
How close to him did you have to be? I mean, could you be like across the room to do
Yeah,
that?
it could be across the room.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was mainly an outdoor map. I don't play it, but the way the developer was describing it said the size of the map initially is like a battlefield map. So it's a really big map.
That's pretty huge.
And you're actually hunting this thing. Like, we spent most of our time trying to hunt the monster. And there's these tracks, and then when it'll go through certain parts, if you're the monster, and you get too close to like these flocks of birds, they fly up, and then the hunters get that on their screen where they see the birds flying up, and you like get a little bit of an outline of the monster, and you run that way and try to find it. But then when you find it, the trapper becomes really important because they can set these sound spikes down. But then the big thing they can do is harpoon it. They have a harpoon gun where they can hit the monster and they're tether it for just a little bit, and then they can use this thing called a mobile arena, which it takes a little bit of time to set up, but then they plop it down, and it makes an energy dome around the monster, or basically it's a center of a sphere. It makes a dome around it, and then the monster can't leave that. Nobody can leave.
You trap it next to you so you can fight it.
You get close battles, yeah. And so it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. We were like, you had to keep talking. You have to use teamwork as the hunters, and then of course the monster's like a badass.
So if you lose one of your characters, are you pretty screwed?
Well, the medic, it's like the mechanic like in Left 4 Dead, to where people get downed and then they get killed. So when you get down, you're sitting there shooting with your pistol. And then if the monster can either come and wail on you and kill you, or you'll just bleed out if nobody helps you up. But you can go over and revive somebody who's downed.
Good. Sorry.
And then if you do get killed, then there's a respawn timer that starts where a drop ship comes in and drops you. So once the monster starts to get an advantage, though, you got to be really, really careful.
I think Michael was telling me too that if you die and come back like that, you also start with reduced health. Is that correct?
That's what they told us, but we never got to the point where we got a we never got a drop. So Michael, we got in one room and Michael just destroyed us. Ray took us in the wrong direction. We made Ray we made Ray the assault character because we said, look, you're the best at FPS. You play assault. You have mines. You have a big ass gun. That's you. And then we all just like chased after him. And of course, Gav was the medic and died right away.
He could see the footprints, right? And he was following the wrong direction.
He didn't understand the orientation of the footprints. I think
odd foot shape.
I was like, trust the guy who never drives himself anywhere to lead you guys where to go.
That's exactly right. And it was like we let him lead because he's the assault guy. It didn't make much sense for the medic or the support guy on point. So we had Ray go out in front, and I would just shield him as we went. Oh, also my support guy could call him an orbital drop. Never got to do that because we ended up indoors, and you can't do it indoors.
It sounded like the classes had a good degree of codependence. Like you really did need to integrate as a team to have any chance.
Yeah, and they were very clear about it. Like you definitely, do not get separated. It's just like Left 4 Dead. If you go running off on your own, you're probably going to die, and everyone else is going to die as a result.
Unless you're Andrew Pan.
We had a ringer that we'd always play Left 4 Dead with, and he just bolt, and we're like, go, go, go. And we'd be back shooting at stuff. So
we were just bait.
But it was evolved from Turtle Rock and distributed by 2K.
It's coming out later this year, right?
I think. Yeah, on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Okay.
Very excited about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that game. I watched that reveal trailer a million times. Well, not a million. I watched it probably 999,000 times. I've really been looking forward to that game for a while.
Yeah, and we actually have a clip of, we couldn't record gameplay footage, so we had to kind of use canned footage for the piece, but you'll see our reactions to actually playing the game. We have a clip on the No of our playthrough, and it's up on this channel because this is where the patch goes, is up on the No. So you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. I can't wait. I know I keep saying that.
Also, quick roundup for the rest of PAX. Lot of Oculus games. Half the floor was independent games, which was really cool. There was the
indie mega booth just gets bigger and bigger. It seems like
it was half the floor was indie games, half the floor, but like Double Fine was in there. I don't know if you consider them to be an independent developer.
The Behemoth announced a game there. They said they were very cryptic about it. They said that they're working on a new game called Game Number 4. It's like their working title. It's gonna be Xbox One exclusive, and they're gonna show it off and announce more details in July.
Okay. I think everybody's kind of waiting for Behemoth to make Castle Crashers too. I think that's like.
What's interesting, that's Xbox One exclusive.
That is interesting. They had a lot of success. Castle Crashers on the Xbox was it the best-selling 360 arcade game?
I think everybody I know who has a 360 owns Castle Crashers.
You could see the rankings, or you could for a long time on the arcade of 360. You could see like what the most popular titles were, which basically means best-selling or most downloaded. And Castle Crashers was always up there. So was Uno.
Oh yeah, we played a lot of Uno.
Yeah.
I also read that Minecraft Pocket Edition finally passed 21 million sales. 21 million copies sold. Not $21 million. 21 million copies sold.
Of Minecraft Pocket Edition?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's one of those things where I can see lots of people buying that in addition to a larger Minecraft install.
I have it.
There you go.
I have Minecraft on everything. I mean, it's like I was saying before, it's like the new Tetris.
And I believe it's the Pocket Edition that's going to be on the Amazon Fire TV.
Really?
So, yeah, that's a whole other vector for them to sell it. Minecraft Pocket Edition has sold, I can't talk. Has sold more than 21 million copies. Yeah, they're gonna host a live. They hosted a live panel this past Monday where they talked about it. So it passed 12 million sales on the Xbox 360, 14 million sales on the PC, and so far it's up to 1 million in 1 month on the PS3.
And now they're going to offer a disc on the PS3.
Yeah, and the disc version comes out next month for the PS3. So combined, what is that? 27 million between PC and console, 21 million Pocket. That's 48 million copies of Minecraft sold.
Basically, they're just like, anything that you own that has a screen, we're going to let you play Minecraft on it.
Yeah, why not? Absolutely, unless it's Wii U. And they're not. I was happy to see that they
Or Oculus.
Or Oculus. They announced the PlayStation 3 version of Minecraft is going to get a retail release with a box, and it's actually, I think, the coolest cover art of
I haven't seen the cover art.
any of the Minecraft titles so far. Here, I'll pull it up for you and see. I'll send it to Patrick so we can show it to everybody.
Okay.
It's going to take me a second. It's funny because I'm going to get it from your notes from the patch.
I probably didn't. I probably saw it. I probably don't remember. I'm going to read this while you look for that. Remind everyone, this episode of The Patch is also brought to you by NatureBox. Your mission, snack smarter to get in shape by summer. Your enemy, the vending machine. But when you're starving at 3 p.m., all cranky and lightheaded, the evil vending machine can seem like your only friend. Don't give in. Head over to naturebox.com. NatureBox sends great tasting snacks right to your door, and they're great for you too. We're talking healthy snacks like barbecue kettle kernels, everything bagel sticks, South Pacific plantain chips, and over 100 more. Zero trans fats, zero high fructose corn syrup, nothing artificial, even snacks that are gluten conscious and non-GMO. Free shipping anywhere in the U.S., NatureBox is busting up the vending machine's monopoly on your midday hunger. Try NatureBox right now and get 50% off your first box by going to naturebox.com/thepatch. That's naturebox.com/thepatch. Stay full, stay strong. Go to naturebox.com/thepatch. It's naturebox.com/thepatch. The other day, we got a shipment of NatureBox in, and to be nice, I put them all out on the break room table.
How'd that work?
They were gone like in 4 minutes. It was unbelievable. It was like, oh, this and this and this.
See,
it's crazy.
The animation cave is basically a bunch of starving prisoners, really. And if any food hits the table that is free range, it's not going to last.
Yeah, and it's all good stuff.
It is.
Here's your Minecraft PS3 cover.
Oh, that is actually really, really cool.
Sorry, I sent him an image that was...
It seems almost like throwback. It makes me think of like a ColecoVision box art or something like that.
Or like the old Atari things where they did the really like interpretive versions of the cover art.
Yeah.
Where it's like the game looked nothing like that, but they did an interpretation of it for the box art.
It makes me think of that for some reason. I don't know if it's the color palette, like the way it's underground and in a cave. And
Dramatic lighting.
Right, that left torch in the background.
Actually, it just reminds me a lot more of all the like fan animated kind of things that people are doing now with Minecraft. Those are everywhere. There are music videos.
Minecraft is
story.
It just doesn't stop. It
I
just
think,
doesn't.
it was at the time it may have seemed like a strange move to make the graphics so lo-fi, but then like now you look at it, it's like they'll port it to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really don't need a beefy GPU to run it.
Well, yeah, you don't need a beefy GPU, but it's based on Java, so I mean, it runs like poo on most things.
But it runs on most things.
But
Yeah.
Ryan is very critical of the performance of Minecraft.
Well, for what it is, it should be better.
I agree, but I don't ever have the you're very critical of the performance of Minecraft. I'm okay with it.
I deal with it every day.
I know you do. I know you do.
Not every day, but
the only thing I would say is I'd love to have the draw distance go a little bit further. That'd be really cool. And you can move that up, but it's really weird too. Like when you especially when you're flying, it doesn't fill in blocks that are like right there next to you until you like literally step on them. But it can be kind of fun too on the Minecraft server that we had for sponsors for a little while, which we are bringing back, by the way. People have asked me about that. Occasionally you get the thing where you can see into the world, and then you can see everything that everyone had mined. Man, because we had a limited size world for the sponsors, and it was like 64 people at a time that could get into it. That thing looked like an ant colony.
You know what I would love to see in Minecraft is a mod that would just apply a moment of gravity to everything in Minecraft. So if you could just turn everything for a second into sand so that all those tunnels would just collapse, what that would do to the surface world.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Just all of a sudden, that's no longer, nothing is supported there. It just goes crunch.
Man, when I found an abandoned mine in Minecraft, which was a new thing that they added, they had like built in they used fence posts to like fake like beams like for support. I thought, what a horrible mechanic that would be in Minecraft if you actually had to build in structure to support your caves. Yeah, as you went along, I would hate that. It'd be nice realism, but I would quickly get sick of it.
No, it would just be like another tedious thing you'd have to take care of.
It's like any RPG where you have to manage food. It's just the worst thing ever.
Something that you have to do in Minecraft.
Yeah, now you have to manage food. I never liked that. I mean, yeah. And on the hardcore server, you can starve to death. Mm-hmm. That's always the best thing. Like the first day that we reset the server, I give a chest to everybody, and I put enough food in it to start a farm. And of course, one dude walks up and wipes the whole thing out, takes all the food, and then goes off somewhere and dies.
Like a locust.
Yeah, and then it's like, where's all the food? And like people are dropping dead, starving to death while they're trying to establish like farms.
Not enough animals.
And I always warn them, we're about to start. Here we go. And I take down the borders and they run, and one dude just like takes everything. Yeah. It's terrible. I was even so gracious, I gave them a mushroom so they could have infinite food if they wanted to. Somebody always kills the mushroom. Right away. Right away.
Instant gratification. You kill it and you get some steak right then.
That's it. Yep.
Maybe some leather. You might need shoes. You don't know.
That'd be great if they did it that way. They usually just hack it and run away. They're just trying to screw it up for everybody else.
Did you see that new Call of Duty Ghosts DLC that replaces the in-game multiplayer announcer with Snoop Dogg?
Yo, dog, you got shot.
What is that?
They had Snoop Dogg record VO to replace the multiplayer announcer.
Is his name Snoop Dogg at this point?
He was credited as Snoop Dogg in the official announced video.
Because I know he changed to Snoop Lion, and then I was pretty sure he changed again.
He was credited as Snoop Dogg, and he introduced himself as the Snoop D-O-double-G.
Snelf.
I'm having trouble talking today.
I understand, guys.
Chums.
I'm there with you all the time.
I think what you're thinking of, he also, for a very short period of time, was Snoopzilla.
Snoopzilla.
He was.
He was.
That's a strange tie-in for the new Godzilla movie.
I even heard, no, that was way, come on.
It's a strange tie-in for the old Godzilla movie.
So is he just going to start tying himself to products? Is there going to be like an Apple that's like this Snookintosh?
What's strange to me is like in this video he talks about, they show him recording some of the dialogue and he talks about it. And he talks about how the writers did a good job of capturing the style of his speak. And his voice is like, he didn't even really write. He's not even saying it. It's like someone was like, what would Snoop Dogg say in this situation? And like wrote it down and he recorded it.
Wow. Now, are we spelling enough of the words or is he saying them? Yeah, I can't imagine who wants this feature, really.
It's funny.
It's funny, but how? Again, it's like the claptrap. How long do you want to play with that on?
It's gimmicky.
I'd be okay with. I wish there was more selection for that. Like I remember when we first started playing Halo 1 back in the day, we all loved that announcer. The multiplayer.
Stetzer.
I didn't know that was his
Double
name.
kill,
Yeah.
triple kill.
I wish there was a feature in more games, like you could toggle between Jeff Stetzer, Snoop Dogg, Ice-T. There's like a whole plethora of people.
How is that your list?
Those I would love to hear a multiplayer game announced by
Jeff
any of those
Stetzer,
people.
Snoop Dogg, Ice-T. That's really the three go-to
I've been listening to a lot of the Ice-T podcasts lately, and I don't know. I'm really into listening to him. He narrated a book for Audible, a Dungeons and Dragons book.
Did he really?
Yeah, I don't remember the title off the top of my head. I'll have to look it up.
That'd be great when they get to like the part of the thing when they're fighting. It's like multi-kill. The Steitzer guy, Jeff Steitzer, we were looking at trying to hire him to do an immersion video and have just him walk around behind you when you were one of the lab rats and have him just announce everything you did all day to see if actually having that in real life would annoy the shit out of you.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we think so, but I think it would get old as like you were checking email and every time you go email,
You have 2 new emails.
Spammed.
I was one of the things I really want
Inbox.
to get out of that was the thing is that you've got mail. Like,
You turned left.
double mail, triple mail, over mail,
Mail-tacular.
over mail.
Killiman Malo.
So he apparently read a 40-page short story. So he doesn't say what it is. I don't think it's been
Fucking
released
brag
yet.
about it. I've done that. No big deal. All right. Speaking of Halo, you want to talk about big Halo news?
Halo.
Absolutely.
It's not I guess
Sorta.
but it's
I guess
related to that. So Marty O'Donnell, one of the longest standing employees at Bungie, not one of the originals, but very close to it. And
He started, I think, in '99. What I read was he started 10 days before Microsoft acquired Bungie.
Yep.
is it really is that true?
10
Okay.
days.
And best known as the guy who created all the music in Halo.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, the Halo
Da-da-da-da.
theme. All the chants and everything like that, So he tweeted very suddenly last night. He tweeted, and I should probably pull up the actual tweet to get it right.
He also, incidentally, I'm going to vamp for you, made the Flintstone Kids theme.
Yeah, his actually work with Bungie goes way back to Myth 2, Oni.
Yeah, I tweeted this last
He
night.
did Septerra Core. He did, I forget, there was one other big one that was kind of, Riven. He did Riven.
He did Riven. I didn't know that.
He did Riven.
And this is his Twitter account is Marty the Elder. He wrote, last night, I'm saddened to say that Bungie's board of directors terminated me without cause on April 11th, 2014. And that's all that he wrote, was that.
And then Bungie had an update on Bungie.net on their website today about it, saying that they parted as friends and they wished him well in his future endeavors.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing.
Which is an odd combination of statements, but... Mm-hmm. By the way, I didn't know all those games that he did off the top of my head. I just did the news post for it a minute.
Well, you should not have spoiled it.
I know.
My pants were a little tight.
we at least sound factual. So then, and that sounds, pretty much like what I would expect a company to say. I mean, if there is a parting of ways between an individual and a company, the individual has a lot more ability to say whatever they want than does the company. I mean, usually there'll be an agreement in place.
Privacy reasons.
Well, it's mainly because of employment reasons, that employment law, that if they said, whatever, if like Rooster Teeth would let you go, oh God, that'd be great. But if that ever happened and, we said, we let Gus go because he's a jerk and he's really lazy, or something like that, then that would be preventing you from getting future employment. And it's like usually, in most cases, a company will simply confirm that someone worked there, the dates of their work, and they wouldn't even talk about pay or anything like that if they're called for like verification of employment.
I don't think they're even allowed to share like performance reviews or things like that.
That would be a bad idea.
Yeah,
that would be a very bad idea to do that for a company. So it's not really clear what happened. I mean, there's a lot of speculation out there. There's like a 40-page thread already on NeoGAF.
Yeah, that was long.
A tweet that's only 12 hours old. I mean, Marty is. He's one of the biggest names in the industry.
Yeah, you think about like music composers and who makes music for games, and there's really not a long list you can think of. I think
that's the name I recognize.
Right, like what's his name does? I mean, you can say what's his name for Metal Gear? Hans Gregory William. He did Die Hard.
Yeah.
Right. He does.
Yeah.
Hans
Gruber.
Hans Zimmerman.
Was it Hans Zimmerman?
Yeah, Hans Zimmerman.
No. Let me look it up.
We obviously are reaching the limit of our composers in video games. I'm just talking about video games in general as development. Yeah, he's one of the biggest names.
Is it weird though that he said he was let go by the board of directors?
No,
that doesn't. Odd.
No.
Okay.
No. As high level as he was, that doesn't strike me as strange either.
Harry Gregson Williams.
Harry Gregson
Samsonite.
Williams.
So close.
What?
It's a Dumb and Dumber reference. It's all right.
I gotcha. Yeah, he did Die Hard, I believe, as well.
Okay.
But I mean, that just proves the point that I had to look his name up.
Right.
There's not a lot of people. I think a lot
Granted, we're a little bit more familiar with the Halo franchise than your average person. But
true.
Again, so who else would you really even know other than a franchise you were really invested in?
Yeah. But, I mean, even when other, like, news outlets would do stories about Bungie, he was always a very forefront personality they put out there to talk to journalists and do press.
He was a personality that they would reference continually within Bungie. Mm-hmm. Like they would always like poke fun at Marty and like because he was such a part of the core group there that he was always referenced. And by the way, I said Hans Zimmerman. I meant Hans Zimmer, the composer. I completely fucked that up too. So
it's actually interesting to me that has been working on Destiny for a while. Did you know Paul McCartney's been collaborating on that for 2 years?
Yeah, that was a really big deal. Like I follow Marty on Twitter, and he was talking about that and like his association with Paul McCartney. Now there's also Michael Salvatore is there, and it's not clear what his status is. Okay. But if he's there, I mean, they collaborated for a very long period of time. And so if he's there and Marty O'Donnell's moving on, that'll be interesting to say the least. Mm-hmm. But it's just a big development. I mean, in the past couple of years, Joe Staten left Bungie as well, and he went to Microsoft, which I found to be really interesting after all the effort they spent to, divest Bungie from Microsoft. And so, yeah, it's really interesting, and it's like people are very curious, but this might be something that we never find out the information for at all. Mm-hmm. We know Marty.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of an interesting kind of a difficult topic for us to navigate. But one time when I was talking to Marty, he said something that's always stuck with me. I can't remember how long ago he said to me. It might have been 6 years ago. Sorry, everybody. He said when talking about like working on video games and working in the video game industry, because he's a musician, has worked in different fields of artistry before. He talked about video games, and he talked about that there's all these big franchises, all these great products in the video game industry. It's basically these golden eggs, right? You get the metaphor of the goose that lays the golden egg. And basically what he said was the video game industry is very good about taking care of the eggs. It's like that's where the focus is. The focus is on the product, not on the geese, basically, the people that make the games. And he wasn't referring to himself, I don't believe, as a goose that lays golden eggs, but I think talking about the artistic community in video games in general, the developers and all that. And I'm not, that's something that he said to me, but that's also, I noticed last night, that is his background on his Twitter account right now, is this like whiteboard drawing of geese and golden eggs. And that's what that reference is that he said that. That always stuck with me, is that like what is more important? Is the franchise more important? Or is it the people who make the franchise more important? But then, we also know a lot of people that work at Bungie as well, and a lot of those people are still there. Like somebody put out the list of the board of directors, Chris Butcher, Jason Jones, we have Ryan. I almost died there.
Oh, no.
Something happened. I swallowed wrong. But, I mean, those are people that are integral to Bungie and all the franchises that they've made. So, it's tough, and I don't think we'll ever know. It's a really bad it's a bad deal. Mm-hmm. It sucks to hear about.
Yeah. I guess it was kind of surprising to me, when all this broke too, that it never occurred to me that game companies would have a full-time composer on staff. It always seemed to me like something that would have been contract work for a lot of musicians. Now, I mean, looking back on it, the scope of the work that he's done in those games is pretty broad.
Yeah, well, I think that's what sets it apart. I think most game developers or most studios will contract to someone outside, but I think there's something extra special that gets added when it's someone who works inside. Like you look at the scope of like the music in a franchise like Halo or the stuff we've seen so far of Destiny, and it's just like. It's so operatic and so grand and seems to marry so well with what you're seeing visually.
You raise a good point. Yeah, I mean, I think of all the games I've played, there are very few of them that really made me notice how inspirational the music behind it was, and that's one of them.
Can you think of a single fucking song from Call of Duty?
No.
I would say the Halo theme is up there with like that and Mario. The level 1 song for Mario.
Mario is pretty iconic. I think the other game that I remember having music that really set off moments was BioShock. BioShock Infinite actually had a lot of
They did a good job with that, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, but it's rare that I'll notice a game and think the score is really contributing to my... In fact, that might be an interesting idea sometime, is to try... I don't know if I should say that on air. Maybe not. It's an immersion idea of how well you would do in a situation with a theme.
With different music?
Rather than without.
We tried a similar one where we had the kids from Xbox Live yelling at a real soldier. And
I saw that one,
How would they do? Yeah. He actually did better.
It's the inverse of that. What would be the inverse of that? Can you inspire someone to greatness with music?
Through music. But I think a lot of people are drawing comparisons between what's going on with Marty O'Donnell right now, or what has just recently gone down, and Amy Hennig over at Naughty Dog. But they seem to be a little different to me because it seems like Amy Hennig left but felt that she was forced out, whereas this is a direct termination. I mean, that's the way this is being said. And people are talking about, and he was very specific in his tweet to say termination without cause, which is a very specific legal term. And at least the way I understand it, we're based in the state of Texas, might be different in the state of Washington where Bungie is. But essentially without cause means it wasn't related to job performance. Like it wasn't like, it wasn't related to something like you could say like, and I hate to even use things that would like be conjecture, but if someone's terminated with cause, they would be doing something like theft or vandalism or something, that was direct violation of their contract with the company. Whereas without cause is more like this nebulous, like it can be simple as we're going in a different direction. We don't want to work with you anymore. Or something like that, but not like a hard metric of like you were supposed to do this and you didn't, therefore you're terminated with cause. And that leads into things like a layoff would be without cause, essentially, because we're just making a decision on the level of the company and we decided to terminate the position, so you're terminated without cause. So it's a term that when you first read it, it sounds like they had no reason to fire me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas it can be like, it can actually be a reason, but it's not a contractual reason that's easily definable.
You could have just been too expensive to continue paying.
That's another thing. For a guy that's as established as Marty, and as popular as he is and as far along in his career as he is, he could have become too expensive. Hard to believe that with as much money as they have to be spending on Destiny at this point in time.
Right.
But
I mean, it sucks.
It does.
But I mean, again, talking about the golden egg, you would think that maybe the score is locked at this point for Destiny, so hopefully we can still hear the work that he has done and he's worked on for a couple of years now when Destiny does finally come out.
I'm sure they won't throw it all away as long as there is something.
Right.
I would think that would be a cause if you had 2 years and produced no music. That would be a bad thing for a composer.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like sweating it the night before. He's like, gotta make a mixtape. Yeah, I can't imagine the scope of like trying to score a video game. It's like all the moments that could happen, or title screens. Again, that goes back to title screens. We talk about how annoying the cagey elephant is, or Claptrap on a Borderlands loading screen. But you think about like the Halo loading screen, or the Halo 1, where it was just like basically like the monks singing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Patrick, I'm going to send you an image or the Twitter account so you can see the cover image that he has up right now. Twitter account. But I want to say that, obviously at Rooster Teeth, I mean, for us to talk about that, Marty O'Donnell is one of the guys on whose shoulders we stood to start this company. When we worked with Halo, and we worked so closely with Halo and the work that he did on it, and we use that to great benefit here. And so, no matter how far along we get, we're now going into our 12th year. I'm never going to forget that. You know what I mean? And when I read about people talking about Marty, I see a lot of respect for him and a lot of the work that he's done. I have that same amount of respect. And once again, we come back to that deal of people saying, "I'm sure he'll be fine." It's like you don't know that. You really don't. I mean, it's like he's got a tremendous career, and those are hard things to keep going. And it's like the best way I can equate it is like if you get an A on a test, and someone says, "Oh, you got an A on a test." You're fine. Just keep going. Just keep doing that. Yeah. It'll be easy for you because you got an A on a test. You know what I mean? Or you've had like 8 A's in a row. You know what I mean? It's like these careers are hard. These things, and keeping these things going is hard. So it's like we definitely wish Marty the best. And hope everybody's doing okay. Especially friends at Bungie and Marty in particular. Everybody's doing well.
I guess we won't say we're sure he'll do fine. We say we hope he'll do fine.
We hope. All the best. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's always been super nice to us. Super great.
Where would you like to see Marty O'Donnell go next and create music?
I maybe would like to see him follow Amy Hennig and work on a Star Wars property over at Visceral.
Ooh.
I know Star Wars has its own iconic music already, locked in that people really relate to, but maybe we see a new twist on that.
I think that somewhere he best served to go somewhere that's very cinematic, like a Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
Or it's imagining Marty working at Disney is kind of interesting to me.
Can you make sure you sent that email to the right Patrick?
I did.
They're not getting anything in control room apparently.
You can go to twitter.com. It's Marty the Elder, Patrick, if you want to pull that up. Yeah, but I would like to see him. It'd be interesting to see like a Marty O'Donnell end up at a Naughty Dog.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Although the music in Last of Us was fucking great.
Yeah.
That's a title screen I love with that like really like lonely music. You know, the credit sequence for Last of Us is so good.
They released a trailer a teaser, I guess I should say, for Last of Us on PS4, which is coming out this summer. It's and it was.
Oh right, did we talk about that yet? That there's a remastered version of Last of Us?
We did, last week. But.
So there are things I liked and things I hated about this teaser. So like the first 66% is just accolades, and at the end they show a little bit. It's not action, which I really liked. I thought it was cool, but instead of showing
while you're talking about this, we're going to show Marty's Twitter account.
Twitter account background. The moment they chose
be nice to the goose there
for
That's what that references.
The moment they chose for non-action to show in the trailer was when they discovered the giraffes.
Yeah.
Really? I was like, why would you show that moment?
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, I was like, there are a lot
because giraffes look great in HD.
It is a good-looking shot, I'm sure.
It's Joel and Ellie looking down over the field and the giraffes, walking in that big empty field. It's like, that was such a cool moment. People who haven't played the game yet may have appreciated that in the moment.
Yeah, let's stop talking about it. Although if it's in a trailer,
it's like, in the fucking trailer.
Yeah, what are you going to do at this point? But yeah, if you haven't played Last of Us, and I don't know who's got a PS4 that would
PS3.
not. Well, PS4 is where it's going.
Oh, right.
Like, I don't know who's got a PS4 that wouldn't have had the opportunity to play it before or would have missed out. Like, I'll just skip Last of Us. The game that's won every Game of the Year award possible. But, so it's if you haven't played it, definitely play it.
Yeah. Well, and the shocking thing to me, and this is a bit of a rehash of a little bit what we said last week, but why isn't that the flagship for their streaming service? Like, why? That's something they're going to do, that they're going to push, is streaming PS3 games to PS4 through the Gaikai service. Why isn't that
I
the
see
flagship?
What you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay, so streaming the games.
Yeah.
Because it can sell more units.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
you think so?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think the guy from Naughty Dog even tweeted, he was like, By the way, today we announced a remastered version of Last of Us coming to PS4. Please act surprised by this information. Thank you. I thought that was a really great tweet. I think it's just there's like
all right.
I get what you're saying. Sony sometimes makes very short-term decisions that if they made the long-term one, they would be in such a better position. Not that Sony's not doing well. They're doing great, obviously.
I think they're doing just fine.
I always wondered why in the fuck when Sony had the PlayStation 2 in every household in America, why were they so focused on making $40 for those memory cards as opposed to allowing the PS2 to use memory sticks? Because if they'd done that, every house in America would have had memory sticks that would have sold their phones, that would have sold their cameras, that would have sold their TVs took memory sticks.
When's the last time you saw a fucking memory stick now?
Now you don't. It's gone. But we would have all had memory sticks because we all had PS2s.
Yeah, and the same thing if they carried over to PS3s and just continued live in that ecosystem.
How many units of PS2s were sold? I didn't want to say like hundreds of millions.
I think it was 100 million, over 100 million.
Yeah, I was saying like 150 million, right? Yikes. So I'm sure they made a lot of money selling 8 megs of memory or whatever it was for $40. But, if they'd have gotten those memory sticks in people's hands, they probably would have made more. And it didn't matter in the long run because it all went to the goddamn cloud. So they would have had the installed base and the brand build of having the memory sticks in the PS2.
As of 2012, they sold 155 million PS2s worldwide.
Look how close I was. Probably the last time I looked it up, they sold another 5 million.
So we're at time. We've got to wrap up.
I have to mention one thing.
Go for it.
All right.
I have to mention a really cool thing that happened. And it's actually a weird year anniversary of when I went to PAX East last year. Maybe had a little bit too much to drink and started referencing a very cute cartoon character that I love named Catbug. Mm-hmm. And on Bravest Warriors, if you've ever checked out Bravest Warriors, it's a great cartoon that's online from the people at Cartoon Hangover. And they put out a Catbug mobile game, and one of the unlockable costumes they put in it is a Burnie costume.
Congratulations.
I'm so happy about it. I love you, Catbug.
One other thing I want to mention, we went ahead and tweeted it. If you want to enter to win the Anki setup, you just have to tweet with hashtag AnkiDriveRT. That's ANKIDRIVERT. And you'll get a starter unit. ANKIDRIVERT. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next Monday with an episode of RT Podcast and next Wednesday with another episode of The Patch.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.